love this moment when we first come into the hammocks. The body's just so happy. It's like we take that sigh of relief. It's like, yes, all week I've been hoping for this. So happy all of you are here. So we're taking a moment to connect with the intention for today's class. What I was thinking of is the intention of endings. A lot of times in our culture, we don't like endings. We only like beginnings. In India, they talk about 3 different gods. So it's the Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And the first 2 are the creator and the preserver. And Shiva is actually the destroyer, which is interesting because Shiva is the deity over yoga. So yoga is meant to be a destroying thing, which is super funny because like I said, in our culture, we don't really like destruction. We like beginnings and we like the life. We don't really like the endings. But this time of year, fall, is the time of year of endings. We start to see the leaves falling. We start to see the plants much more, just kind of losing all that color. The grass isn't as green. The sunflowers are starting to wilt. And so that's that time of destruction. So it's very symbolic because if we only had life and growth, we would have cancer. That's what it is. It's unrestricted growth. So instead, we sometimes need the destruction. We need cells to eventually die. Otherwise, we'd have that overgrowth that's not helpful to our health. So the intention of this class is meant to be just the idea of that destruction and what is it that I'm ready and willing to destroy. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it's a type of thinking, like you're trying to introduce more gratitude, and so you're trying to complain less, perhaps, and that's what you're working on destroying. So it can be very personal, or it can be just the act of using the exhale to remind us that it feels good to release. So with this idea of the fall energy helping us to release, to destroy, with this energy, let's start the class here. So arms begin to stretch all the way to the back wall. Let's let the shoulders wiggle to the right. Shoulders wiggle to the left. We're taking a few easy cycles just back and forth rounds. I like to focus on that exhale whenever I go deep to one side. That exhale helps me squeeze just a little bit further. One more time to each side. Let's find back through the middle, right knee into chest. Give it a hug for a moment. Equal roll. Some of the tightness out of the foot. And let the legs stretch up to sky. Hamstring stretch. Grab on wherever you can reach. With the exhale, this right foot is hooking to the back left. So it's setting up for a pigeon pose. So if you need to peek at others or look up at the mirror at me, just to see this, that's perfectly fine. Hooking right foot to back left or right hip. Never let the knee be aching here. If that's the case, slide the ankle a bit higher. But to the degree that it feels good, just gently hug it in. More deep conscious breaths into the belly. Really focus on that exhale release. All our tensions, all our worries are gone with that exhale. Inhale and release. Good. Bring out this foot, drop it down. Second knee into chest. Nice hug. Ankle rolls in. positioning. Another breath goes in. Exhale. Grab the foot. Drop it down. Let's take a vampire right away first thing. So let the head come out the back end of the fabric. And then you need to take some of the extra fabric down to the feet because there's a lot right at the neck right now. So stuff the feet in close to the feet. And then when you lift up the hips and re-straighten the legs, that helps to squeeze that fabric down. Good. So just one thin layer to completely cover shoulders. Hands grip up high, left and right. Good. Hike the feet up. Good. And then you're widening the feet out. So feet are on the inside, but they're pushing out into the fabric. And by pushing, you're able to lift on signal. You got it. Good. So feel the shoulders relaxing into the fabric. I'll give my little disclaimer about inversions. Don't feel like you have to be upside down as long as anybody else. You're just letting your body enjoy it. And if your head tells you you need to come back down, come back down. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to start adding in a slight aspect of balance, you can bring your feet away from the fabric to touch one another right in the middle. So feel how the core has to work just softly to find that beautiful balance. You can always return if you need them. Breaths in. Exhales. Take your time. Just enjoy it. Vampire is one we're going to revisit a couple of times today. So this first one's just to get the shape, just to get the shoulders relaxing. No rush to come out. When you're out, you can slip your head back in to give yourself a mini shavasana. That helps your blood pressure get a chance to just flip back around to normal. Eventually, when the head feels ready, we'll come up to sit to do a couple of stretches before we go into another vampire. So no rush, but if your head feels like, okay, I think I'm good, I can move on a little bit, then you'll start to kick the feet free off the front and sit up. Beautiful. So from sitting, let's take the arms into the inside. We're bringing the right knee in, trying to clasp that around the right foot. And then lean back just a half of a foot or so, not very far at all, as we extend this right leg upward as much as we can. If you feel like it would be more helpful to the stretch to slide the hands down to the ankle instead, that's perfectly fine. Whichever feels more helpful for that hamstring stretching. With our exhale, we're going to start setting up a twist from here. So take your left hand and try to grab on the outside of that right foot or the ankle. So left hand grabbing right foot. The grip helps to already start crossing the leg across the body. So that's where we start the twist from. The right hand circles up to sky and then to the back wall. Or you can take that hand around the fabric behind the back of the head if you like how that helps you twist more. Either shoulder open or the grabbing, whatever you like. Inhale. Soft exhale. And as you release the left hand, this like crosses over, maybe even a toe wrap, just depending on how that feels. And then grab onto the fabric to help accentuate the twist even more. So the right hand does come behind the back of the head. The other hand hooks around the run in front of you. Grab and twist. One more inhale. Exhale. Wind. Uncross the knees. Arms back to the inside. Grab around the foot. Try to reach the foot up to the sky. And if you needed to bump down to ankles, nothing wrong with that. Good morning, stretch. Hello, hamstrings. We're willing ourselves to work again, at least to be able to lengthen again. Deep inhale. Exhale. Setting up the twist. The right hand hooks on the foot or calf area. And this left arm stretches up to sky to twist the leg behind this. Or if you'd like that hand to go behind the back of the head already, that's good. The foot releases, the legs are crossed. And then grab onto the fabric to help deepen that. One more inhale. Easy exhale. Release, return forward. So we're taking it back down to vampire, uncross the legs. Get the shoulders back how they were, just one big hand covering over the shoulders. The feet come into the fabric again. Do make sure that you have some of that excess fabric covering up the feet. This next one will take the balancing that we were practicing a moment ago even further if you wish to. So hands barefoot high, same as before, feet hiked up. The press into the fabric is what helps you to rise upside down. Find that balance again once you're there, where you're trying to get the feet to touch one another right in the center. So if you want to go further, you start to send your hips a little bit behind you so that you can hide your toes in front of you. You're welcome to either just enjoy this plow pose, this nice kind of hamstring stretch shape, or you can start to turn this into a core motion where we flatten out into a pike, to kind of like a plank position, and then we slowly try to reverse our way back up to hamstrings. Slowly use the core to pike back up, then perhaps back to plank a couple of times. So between all those options, I'll give you time to just play with it. You can always just stay with the first option, the inversion, coming out when you're ready, but you have those additional options of plow pose and or the whole cycle, the roll up. That's okay. If you've never done it before, it's nervous, but the toes go to the back wall and just trust that the fabric will catch them. Okay. Yeah, I know it's hard the first time. Trust me, I know. You're doing good though. There'll be a point where the fabric won't let you go any further. That's it, right there. Notice in the body if the shoulders have relaxed some of that tension out already compared to the first one. Relaxation is one of those kind of like death, fall, release things that we're talking about. The shoulders, the tension in it is like a preserver. We're trying to hold all the energy that we've had our whole life. But if instead of trying to carry that around with us the whole time, we start to release some of that, let it go, just like the leaves, the tree lets it go, then the shoulders can feel much less tension. So there are some really beautiful benefits to this quality of letting go. Looks like we're all starting to head out. So if you're ready, come back to that mini shavasana, but you can give yourself a couple more breaths if you wish. Sooner or later, we'll work our way back up to a seated place, but again, not a rush. Paying attention to your head, making sure the blood pressure has had a chance to flip. You don't have the ear fullness going on. Just give yourself time. Only sitting up when you feel ready. So we'll start to aim our way back to standing. So I like to grab onto the fabric, briefly lift the feet up, and then tilt forward to come all the way out. Good. Let your elbows hook the fabric and then walk really far forward. You can either just stand upright and just walk forward to the point where you enjoy that shoulder stretch, or you can walk the feet back and you're kind of planking forward into the stretch. So it's up to you, whatever amount of body weight your shoulders are happy taking. Again, have the quality of the exhale helping you release some of the tension out of the shoulders. Deep inhales, long relaxed exhales. For 2 more easy, relaxed breaths. Beautiful. So walking yourself backwards to free out your elbows. Take the fabric in front of us. So we need to be standing just slightly behind the plumb line. We're gripping it a little bit wider than shoulders. Our body goes forward, hips go backward. And relax some of the tension out of the low back. The knees can be softly bent or straight, whatever feels more useful for the back specifically. I like to let the weight of the head drop heavy. Sometimes I'll start to sway. This can be a small sway, a little bit to the right of the mat, a little bit to the left of the mat. Or you can really exaggerate it all the way to the front shoulder, all the way to the back. Back through the center. Have a soft bend to the knees. Head start to roll all the way up. Good. So we're gonna head into some of my favorite stretches for the legs. So this part of the fabric that's closer to you, grab onto it and wave it out just like how we started class to head in. So once you've got that waved out, your right leg is coming all the way inside. Make sure you're not too far behind the plumb line. If you're far back, you can feel how you have to like pull against it, the fabric, to be in balance. So instead, we're pretty much right underneath it. And then once you're there, take the elbows onto the inside. The elbows are slightly bent and pushing out. By that push out, it helps to lift the leg up a little bit. Sometimes I also like to lean forward, kind of like a split. So sending a little bit of weight for the front of the room. Weight back over the standing leg. If you sent it forward, the spine is back upright. Leave this left hand onto the inside. The right hand circles up to the sky and then travels to the back wall, a nice twist. The neck be part of the twist. The jaws relaxed. One more deep inhale. And then let that exhale be soft. Good. So this arm returns forward. And then both hands are going to grab the left end of the fabric, the left half. The right hand slides up. The left hand is at the heart. Just a nice grip. And then turn your standing toes to the left. So from here, bend at the waist. Move to a half forward fold. Or if you want to go a little further, you can drop the left hand to the ground. If you're there and you still want more, hop the left hand another foot forward to front of room. Sink your weight forward toward the mirror. And a huge breath in. Soft exhale. Put your weight back over standing foot. Both hands grab onto fabric. The standing knee bends like a spring to help us pop back up. Good. So facing forward. Do you cover fabric all the way up to the glute? The knee that's in the fabric bends. So the right knee goes to the right, the foot swivels into the left. Dive the arms through the center and then bring the hands to prayer position. That locks our chest in place so we can't pull out. Both arms through the center. And then your standing foot, slide the foot back. The ball of the foot is on the floor, but then you push forward to get a little toe stretch. Stay here, or left hand grabs for that left ankle for a quad stretch. If you're here, the knee pulls backwards, and that's what gets you right into the feeling of length at the thigh. I like to start flexing this right foot already, so it's not in a sickled motion. It feels much better on the ankle. And then you can stay here or go into lotus. This could be a low grip of that left foot in front of you, if that's where the knees are happiest, or you can stack. That feels okay for everything. If the friction is there to keep it in place, maybe hands come to heart. Just depends kind of on how it's staying today. Use a couple of breaths, perhaps to tune into the intuition to find something that's willing to be released. I know I'm a person that tends to pile way too much on my plate, so sometimes I have to go through that energy of release. It's like, it's okay to let things go sometimes. Just give space for eventually more beautiful stuff to come into my life. Just 2 more breaths, focusing on that soft exhale. Do that second exhale. The left foot comes back to the floor, nice long leg behind us. This will be pigeon pose. If you already feel a hip opener, just leaning into it, that's fine. If you need a little bit more, start to slide the fabric down any amount to the knee. And that allows the hips to drop a little bit lower. If that's okay, bring the shoulder back into locket, and then there you go. Got it. One more inhale. Exhale. So the foot that's on the floor, hop it right underneath you. Standing up, grab onto the fabric so you're safe as you straighten the leg back out. Take the foot out. We're stepping the left foot directly in. Again, don't be too far behind plumb line, right up to it. The arms are on the inside, the elbows are bent, pushing out. And maybe there's a little bit of leaning forward to front of room if that was helpful before. So here's a good point to remember that energy of release doesn't always have to be this disastrous thing. Kind of like the release is its own gift. It's kind of like a memorial service where instead of, being so sad about letting go, it's like a memory of how good that was at the moment. And then they're ready to release so that the energy can transform to its next phase. So start to take your way back up to standing upright, spine stacked. This time, right arm stays inside the fabric. Left arm circles up, twists back. Okay, start to return that arm. We're grabbing onto this right calf. And you're standing toes to the right. I like to start with the left hand high, the right hand at the heart. And start to bend at the waist. Maybe you stop halfway down. Maybe the right hand goes to the floor. Option to hop the hand forward. Equate to mirror if you want more. Inhale. Exhale. The standing leg, hands grab on, slight bend to the knee to spring us back up. Facing forward, do cover up to the glute. Bend the knee like a pigeon pose. Good. And then dive the shoulders and the arms through the center. Hands in prayer position to block. And then the toes slide back. Rock forward to stretch the bottom of the foot. And to stay here or grab the knee, slide it up. And if you're not feeling the quad stretch, you'll just pull the knee back a little bit. An option to stay here or come to the lotus. Feeling the hips, the muscles around the hips relaxing. Another chance just to tune inward. Perhaps the intuition is speaking to us at this point. Like, you know what? I really don't need this energy in my life. Whatever it is, the energy of a certain food, a certain person, a certain habit. Huge inhale. Exhale. One more. Release the leg back. Pigeon pose, just lean forward. If you need more, grab the thigh with by the glutes, slide any amount down towards the knee. Perhaps the weight of the head droops forward, so you can softly roll the head over to the right shoulder, over to the left shoulder, enjoying that nice neck stretch. Sometimes you can even get the bonus where you can feel how that gently lengthens some of the muscles, even through the back. Inhale, exhale. The foot underneath us hops forward. Rise up, bring the leg out. So, this is a challenge pose. So if you have any difficulty with it, I can either spot you or you can skip it. I'll give you a couple of variations to do instead. But the center of the fabric, we grab it, we bring it around the back of the neck. With a little scarf. There's two little danglies here. So in these dangly loops, you're bringing the arms inside. Good. So leaning forward, each hand grabs each part of the fabric behind you. And then you're walking yourself back so that the neck is underfoot. So from here, you're bouncing up, lifting the hips up above you, and then straightening the legs up. So this is where I may need to come around and just spot people to help you get your legs all the way upside down. This one is a very deep massage through the neck area. I'll catch you. The fabric's a little high, so I'll help you. I get scared. Okay. I'll grab your knees. Really deep massages, don't feel like you have to stay super long. Whenever you come out, you're welcome to give your head some time and then go into a hip right after. Have some of that energy release that way as well. Work, guys, gently out. Just lay back for a moment. Yeah, you're welcome to stay a little longer if you want. Yep, you can take a second round if you like. This one can be really, really nice for that tension in the shoulders. Yep, the hip hang is another option if you'd like. So that would be fabric up to hips and then just releasing your weight over. Relax. Oh, and especially gives the spine a chance to just have lots of length. Yep, you got it. As relaxed to the back as you can. Yeah, make sure it goes in the hip bones, not the guts. That'll help, yeah. How nice it is for the whole body to just be relaxing heavy. You come out at any point and we'll come back to that resting pose of the fabric. Get ready, start to get your feet underneath you, start to softly roll the head up. Fabric is behind the shoulder blades. Back to almost standing. Let's take our little shoulder stretches here. So right arm crosses first, and then left arm standing up, lean forward, and then I'll spread each arm to each side. So right arm goes to the left arm goes to the right, creating some space in between shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale. Lean back, circle the arms up. And then cross it the other way. So left arm first and then right. Same thing, lean back into it. That, circle the arms out. Get the fabric under shoulder blades if it slipped up at all. And then come forward, just a nice chair position. Give the weight of the spine a chance to just drop. No core effort at all. Heel toe the feet nice and wide. Bring the hands to the inner thighs, just gently pressing them open. Straighten the right leg, flexing the right foot. Switch to left. Back through the center. Take the knees in a little bit so that we can drop one knee to floor and then the other. Good. From here, we're going to take a supported camel pose. So the arms open, let your heart go forward, the chin up just softly. The back space opening nicely. Weight over the center. Two options. Option one is just split back down to the elbows and then come forward like a plank, any amount that feels okay. Option two is hands wrap up and grab the fabric, and then you're doing the same thing but from a hand grip instead. The elbow, the weight of the fabric in it can be a little intense, so the hand grip is an easier option if it gets too much to the elbows. Yeah, kind of slip it past the shoulders. There you go. That is prerequisite for that. When as you're kind of lifting directly up to go, this is getting behind to grip, kind of like the flip that we did before. So you're kind of like flip it to elbows first. Yeah, and then from the elbows, then you can jump and grab. Okay. No. Elbows are bent behind you. Like, look at me. This way. Yeah, but then I don't know. You're trying to force this position, so bring it like this way. Do you want me to? It's okay. You just might need a bit of time, maybe. Okay, that's fine. It's just not working. That's okay. Take it to just a soft child pose so the fabric, the hands are in her position in front. Bring the spine back up to stack. This will be our little arm strength moment for the day. So let's go ahead and do a wrist lock. So hands are in that prayer position. Turn the thumbs down and then scoop toward your face, under to scoop all the way up, and then separate about as wide as shoulders before you let it fall into your hands. Just like that. So getting the feet out in front of us. This is going to be your preference to how many pull-ups you take. So we're slowly exhaling up and then using that arm strength to lower down. You choose how many is here. Maybe you have the number 5 in your mind. You have the number 10 or more. You get to choose whenever you're ready to be up. You'll come up and then just walk the feet backwards to stand. Flip the wrists all the way out. And let's come up to the top of the fabric. Wave it out. And we're going to set up a belly flop in. So facing your fabric from the front, gather up about half of it in your hands, and then walk up to it, place the right knee inside. The hands grab the back end of the fabric through the center. Right knee inside. Yeah, scoot up a little closer to it. There you go. And then reach the arms through the center, grab the 2 ends. Good. And then belly flop all the way inside. Good. Let the arms dangle for a moment. Head heavy down. Maybe even clasp hands behind the back of the head to gently hug the chin into the chest. We'll start to turn around for one more vampire pose. So one hand reaches up to locate the fabric, and then that helps us to flip all the way around. So the shoulders should more or less be set up with just one thin layer, but if you need to scoop more fabric to the shoulders or less, readjust. Just like before. When we come up, side down to vampire, this time keep the right leg inside the little blanket of the fabric. Left foot is free. So from there, same approach as before, hands grip up high, left and right. The feet hike up through the center to push out into the fabric. And we rise upside down. So the leg that is in fabric, the right one, hikes down to the space in front of chest, all the way to the point where it can't go further. Good. From there, you're safe to drop left foot all the way to the floor. Good job. So this will be a hamstring stretch. So start to sink your weight backwards. If you want more of a stretch, hop the foot on the ground forward any amount. That'll give you more space to splits. Inhale, exhale. Start to switch sides. So if the foot hopped forward, bring yourself back under plumb line so you don't swing too crazy. Then step both feet into the little pocket. Maybe pause for a plank pose. Slide like Dracula. Eventually, right foot steps down to the ground. Same approach once you're there. Nice split action, relax it back. in and out. So here, when we set both feet into the little pocket, we can rise up to vampire. If you're wanting this last inversion time, you'll stay in the vampire. If instead of inverting one last time, you prefer to take a couple of bonus stretches with me, at this point, come out, so you're all the way back in Shavasana, and you'll come up to sit. So like, keep free from the front, sit up. Okay. So if you're stretching with me from sitting, we're gonna come into our deeper straddle. So bunch up the end of the fabric that faces you to center of room. Lock your arm out, and then that leg, that hip that just got lifted, swings up and over. Good. The fabric is off center because of vampire, so we're going to recenter right here. What you do is you get your feet in the right spot, right at the ends of the fabric, tucking both feet in, and then reaching up high, lift your hips off the fabric, re-straighten your legs, and that should have shifted the fabric back to a good spot. So once you've done that fun game, the feet can come back free of the fabric on each side. Good. Yeah, take your time. You got it. So the feet back free. I'm going into a little taco fold. One hand is like a flat stop sign hand. Push that directly into the fabric in front of the face. And then that holds the space for grabbing your other foot to come up into the center. If you have one foot, that second foot's pretty easy to join. 2 feet up here, so try to straighten the hamstrings as much as they will allow. Relaxing the hamstrings, relaxing the back. You can choose just to stay right here with the hamstrings or go into the hips by taking cobbler's pose. Arms and feet together, knees open, just slide the feet in as deep as you wish. Cocoon type of a shape, just being wrapped in the fabric kind of like this, reminds me of that caterpillar. The caterpillar has to let itself be completely destroyed. It's not a beautiful process when it's in the cocoon. It's like letting itself become mush, and only in letting itself be destroyed is the butterfly able to emerge. So that's what can happen sometimes with this energy of the release. It creates space, it creates an environment where what you were meant to be all along is able to emerge. So we're about in our Shavasana time. You can choose what type of Shavasana would feel good. Maybe you're just enjoying this stretch, or the womb pose with the legs back in and the feet together. Maybe you want the flying Shavasana like how we started class. And so then you'll slide both feet to the mirror side fabric and then get yourself back just laying down. And sometimes you feel like I'm done with floating today. I just need to lay down on the floor, and that's also fine. So you've got lots of options, but you're finding a last comfortable resting pose for the last few minutes of class. Yeah. Thanks. Sorry, trying to get you before you touch it. You're slow. No, this is okay. Got a few minutes here. Just let these beautiful breaths flow, especially focusing on the beautiful release that happens in the body when we relax into the exhale. We'll begin to deepen our inhales. Our exhales. Introduce little movements back to face and toes. Elbows and wrists. Stretching that out in a way that feels really helpful. I'll let the shoulders go left and right a few times. Just bring the shoulders back up. Sometimes I'll take the fetal position. So if you're in the fabric, you're rolling over onto one hip stacked on top of the other hip. And from there, you can curl the knees in. You can flatten back out to arch backward a little bit, almost like an exaggerated cat cow, just waking up the spine nicely. So if you're doing that, maybe 2 or 3 to one side. Eventually flipping around to the other side. Don't rush at all, just finding good balance in the body. Only when things feel good, aligned, eventually start to work our way up to a comfortable seated. We're up, let's join hands together and apart. Reconnecting full circle back to this idea of release. It's like the fall energy, letting the leaves go. We recognize that it's okay. It's even really healthy and good to let things go. So with this opportunity to change coming ahead of us, inspired by this weather, let's allow ourselves to wrap up the time we shared together today with the sound of oh, deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.